What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Banner Saga 2. Give you a little delay right there, just to make you wonder if the episode's actually starting. We need to level some people up, so let's do that. We're going to start out. We finally made it to Arborang. It looks like there is a war a-brewing. It's probably a wise idea for us to, make Roek better. I want Roek to kill it. Roek's my dude. Yep. Let's bring Ro up, and let's bring him up a couple tiers. I like the Horseborn guys because they have better stats than humans, but at the same time, they're more mobile. They're basically overpowered as shit. He's got hit and run. He's got mule kick. Okay, that's pretty sweet. What would be nice is if you could get mule kick to combo. So if you set him up so he's like right here, and enemy's right here, and then you've got... Well, actually, he'd be back here. And so you'd stab him with the prince, which would knock him back into here, and then he'd kick him and stun him, and it would do more damage moving him. Be kind of a cool little combo. I mean, it would probably take more work than it's worth to set it up, but it would still be badass. In my humble opinion, I still think that it would be raw. Did I not finalize my stat point choices? I must not have finalized my stat point choices. Fantastic. His next level up is 17. I don't know if that's entirely worth it or if I should spread that out a little bit more. Gunnulf could probably use a level up. I definitely would not. You know, I'll probably just try to make his stats a little better, and the next time we level him, I'll try to do a few more into willpower. Although it's gonna be tough to play. It's gonna be tough to play catch up there, but is what it is. Mogir could also use a level up, so we'll give him one. Up his strength a little bit. He's got points in Titan straps. Yeah. Let's do that. That sounds good. Keep Titan straps up, and maybe every single turn he'll get a little bit of armor back. And then if we could stack some other stuff on him, yeah, like the Bjorgov Leander, that is exactly what I'm talking about right there. A lot of this stuff helps. I don't like Oddleif at all. I would rather focus on Dredge if I can. Oddleif is like one of those characters where it just takes too much effort to get her up to the point where she performs even like remotely as well as everybody else. It's just I forgot to... Okay. So a little bit more armor right there. Perfect. Sounds good. I'm going to leave a little bit of renown left over in case we ever get to have food again. Or in case we see like a trinket around that's going to be like the shiz. But up until then, I think level ups are good enough for now. Skothic and Durdrio pace nervously, keeping their distance from humans, Varl, and other Horseborn. Roek patrols around the two a short distance away, nodding to you briefly. Is everything okay? Many mans. More than we know live. You start to look at the thousands of tents in the fields and hundreds of homes beyond the capital's walls. I'm from a small village. I'm not used to seeing so many people either. Maybe. Herd too big. So many. Mouths hungry. If some dead, more easy feed herd. Skothic stomps the ground and says a few shrill notes to Durdrio before turning to you. Durdrio forgets that we are not of same thinking with mans. If you think Big Herd is right, we will think Big Herd is right. What do you think is right, Skothic? The male Horseborn looks up at Arborang for a few moments while swishing his tail in thought. I think Big Herd kick each other in small fields. He points to Arborang, small fields behind walls. You thank them for talking and offer them a few calming words before departing. You know how crazy this would be, though? For, like, during this time period, if you were from, like, a village or even, like, 200 years ago, hell, even 150 years ago, most people, especially in the United States, were from little tiny settlements that were just, like, 1,000 people here, 2,000 people there, 4,000 people here, town by town by town by town, essentially. And then, can you imagine, like, how a big gathering like this would be, especially in, like, a clan culture, like in Viking culture, where you really didn't come across each other altogether that often except to trade? Like, this would be pretty exciting stuff right here, coming and meeting with people from all over the place who maybe you haven't seen or heard anything about in a very, very long time. This would be kind of crazy. There's nothing quite like it anymore for us in the first world because we have the internet and stuff like that, and so we have direct access to one another at any given moment nowadays. But still, this would be a crazy thing to be a part of. Before you head towards the large tent, Oddleif stops you. Are you certain you're ready for what could happen out there? Her worried look is infectious. The king may be a decent man, but I doubt he's kept his throne by always following the rules. I'm prepared for whatever the king and his clans decide. I'm glad to hear the confidence in your voice, Oddleif says. Just be careful. I'll be back here with the rest of the clan if you need me. You smile and make your way past the line of clansmen, marking the boundary of the peaceful bit. The voices coming from under the tent are loud and animated. Best we could. You've done well. I never thought I'd see my son again. Well, we've all had easier journeys. The king's cheerful mood lessens. He's about to say something when he sees you approaching. Who's this? Well met, King Minoff. I'm Rook, from Skogir. Ludin steps forward. Father, this is the Sunder Slayer that I told you about. King Minoff nods, but is staring at Hakon from under heavy brows. It pains me to hear you've lost so many of your hardy warriors, Hakon, but tell me, where's Gerunder's Kender, Vognir? Vognir died protecting your son. I was Vognir's Kender. With Gerunder's death at Einertoft, I'm king of the few remaining Varl. The king says nothing and contemplates the news. Your walls are the last hope for my people. There's no sense in denying it. I understand. And of course you'll have refuge here, the least I can do for bringing my son back alive. It'll be tight, but I'm sure we can find a place for you. King Minoff, Rook here is just as much responsible for the prince's safe return. He has quite a few clansmen. Careful, Varl King. This is the human capital, and my generosity is already stretched very thin. Hakon looks at you and shrugs. Tell me, Rook, what makes you better than the hundreds of other chieftains out there? Men whose great deeds I've heard of, no less. I mean, we could come straight out the gates and be like, tell me why I shouldn't join them then. I've united many clans on my journey here. I see that, horseborn included. But what good is that when you've led them here? None of you seem to understand that Arborrank can only hold so many. We can only feed so many. If I open the gates to everyone out there, the capital would tear itself apart from the inside. Only now do you see Rugga and 24 fighters approaching. The king's guards look concerned. Rugga. Meinolf. I should have killed you when I had the chance. You tried, remember? Did the Sunderslayer convince you to open the gates to your people? You will never enter my gates again. Giggity. I hoped you died in Borsgard. How is it you've come to speak for all of these clans? The people you've turned your back on? They needed a leader they could trust. Again, how have you come to speak for them? Did you fool them just like the people of that rotten town you governed? The only fool here is the outnumbered king believing he still has a say in what happens now. Don't make us breach your walls. We'll just have to repair them once we're inside. I'm going to point out the darkness. I doubt either of you will be in charge of anything when that darkness washes over us. I've got the Valk and the Menders seeing to that inside. They'll come up with something. And even if they fail, I'll still be able to watch this bastard fall to that darkness from my walls. There's the true heart of Meinolf that I know. Rook, look at your people out there. Our people. They need food and clean water, not that poison in the river, and they need protection. You cannot allow this king to keep us from safety after all this way. He doesn't have to. I'll find a place for the people under your banner, Rook. A place inside the walls alongside the Varl. A place this Fane man will never be allowed again. That's enough. Both of you are bickering like children instead of leaders. And you, Giant, joining this king after all we did to keep your people alive. Traitor. Hakon growls and flexes his grip on his axe. All parties look angry and tense, and then they look at you. It's a tough one. Because on one hand, I can't stand Rugga, and he's a piece of shit, and he's definitely going to turn on us. 100%. He's going to turn on us the second we're inside the walls. Meanwhile, the king has supplies. He has really, really high walls, and with the help of 700 to 1,000 extra fighters, he could probably hold them. It's amazing what people behind high walls can do when it comes to sieges and invasions. All you have to do is look at a little bit of medieval history, and you'll find times where 200 guys were able to hold off hordes all by themselves just because they had bows and whatever else and really, really good walls. In the meantime, I don't want to punish all the people outside for Rugga being a bastard. That's the part that, like, really kind of sticks with me. So it's pros and cons. On one hand, we're a lot safer inside and my people are taken care of. It's the selfish option. And it's also probably the smart option, considering Rugga is going to betray us the second he's inside the walls. Second option is altruistic. You go against the king. We take the walls. We help everyone, but at the same time, there may not be enough supplies inside for us to do anything. Alternatively, we knock down the walls trying to get inside. Can we actually repair them before the dredge arrive? I'm going to go with the selfish option. My banner and my people are my only concern. Good. I'm granting you and your people even those horseborn into my walls. Move quickly. You still don't know how to play the game, Rook. I'm not a traitor either. At least I'm not black-hearted scum. Rugga blows 3 quick bursts into a war horn. You look back and are shocked to see an ambush on your caravan. With no defenses built, your tents go up in flames, humans and Varl burning. Without warning, he pulls his cloak-pinned dagger and lunges at Meinolf, who shifts slightly, the blade only piercing his side. Before anyone can react, Rugga slinks behind his fighters, who are charging... Really? He attacks the king, who is surrounded by bodyguards, and is able to slink away after stabbing him. At a certain point, it defies believable logic. Like, I'm sorry, a king... You don't stab a king in his front without just being fell upon by spears and weaponry. It just does not work like that. Hakon and the king Meinolf. Everyone to the walls, you shout. Protect the king and the Varl. Hakon nods his appreciation just before the clamor of war envelops you both. I find that one hard, but at a certain point, you gotta sit down with the writing and just be like, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. There's no way. I'll probably put Hakon up first. I don't know why. I've been running Rook because he's a really, really good advanced striker. But I think we're looking okay right now. We'll see what we can tear up here. I don't think you could stab a king, though, at a delegation surrounded by fighters and bodyguards without something horrible. Ambush, Meinolf. You're wounded. Just a flesh wound, although I feel odd. Yeah, the blade's poisoned. Depths take Rugga. Rally the troops. Alright. So smart money's on putting a tank over there. So that we can keep ourselves dug in behind some of these bastards. They don't have archers or anything, so this should be a fairly easy cleanup fight. That guy's just getting strangled right there. It's like, what are you doing right now? What do you strangle me for? I don't know. That's funny to me. Oh, man, the flag's in the way. Why you gotta strangle a guy? All I wanted to do was get a little bread. That's funny. Not like deeply funny, but still moderately funny. Alright, so there's a little damage right there. I doubt most of these guys are going to be able to close the gap before... Oh, so he can get to right there. I'm going to draw over to here then, so that he is just out of range. Oh, and he's still going to work his way around by burning a ton of willpower. Rugga's been recruiting Cragsmen? Looks like it. We're going to block the pass right here. And then we're going to bring the pain on one of the... Oh, I should have done more. I should have done more. That was... I should have done way more. He's apparently going to throw axes at me. You there. Stop messing with my horseborn. Alright. Other horseborn. Let's take you around the side. We'll see what happens over here. Meantime, let's get her over here. And we're going to have her start throwing poisonous darts at our enemies. She's only got 6, so if I want her to spread these out properly, we'll throw a little bit in right there, and he should start bleeding out on his turn. In the meantime, we've already got Rook lined up for a semi-decent shot. Actually, no, we don't. Got to step him forward by a little bit. Why is that blocked from right there? Let's get him right there. Spot where he can actually fight from. Let's make him combat ineffective. One less enemy to deal with. He's going to throw axes again. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and put Hakon right here. And if I remember correctly, my friend has Tempest. So in we go. Damage dealt. Start fragging these guys up just a little bit. Bring some pain here. 5 damage dealt right there. Nobody in that stack is anything to worry about any longer. Probably have him play cleanup on this side for the runners. I'd like this to be a flawless fight. I'd prefer for this to go down without too many problems. He's going to defend. We got an enemy right there. I will probably fix him up with a mule kick. Don't need him to go back too far, and then we'll close the gap with him because he should be stunned. A little bit of armor sundering out right there. Really not going to matter. Totally and completely not going to matter. Let's throw out a bit more poison. Keep these guys ticking along. He resisted the damage, but the poison's already been set, so that's fine. So why are these guys... Oh, that's right. They've got that shield ability. I was going to say, why are these guys not taking damage? It's because they've got that ability that Eggle has. Good old Kegel. And now would be the time to actually Tempest again, from what I can tell. Probably going to Tempest over here, too. Oh, he didn't get stunned. He appears to have resisted it somehow. That's cool, whatever. I ain't mad. See, at this point, Rugga's got to realize how his units don't really terrify me. Ah, he resisted it. Cheeky little bastard. He got his shield up long enough. And yet another notch for Hakon. The killing machine. We're killing Rugga, by the way. This dude's gonna die slow. I'm irritated by his apparent... I don't know. It's so obvious that he's got armor of narrative on right now. He's got narrative armor on that it's just frustrating. Like, he should have died like 9 times during the course of this game. And yet every single time he's perfectly fine, like unscathed, and knows that you were up to it. It's just like, come on. King Monolf regains his footing and falls back towards the walls as forces rush past him into the fray. You wave the banner of Skogir and your clan surrounds you. "To the gates!" you shout over the clash of axes and hammers on shields. By the time your caravan is inside Arborang's outer wall, the gate is mostly compromised. Rugga's forces are on your heels and they brought bears. "Cut them off or they'll overrun us," shouts King Monolf before wincing and grabbing his side where he was stabbed. Yeah, sure, why not? You heard him charge! The roar of battle swells to deafening levels. You focus on the drumbeat that is your heart and ready your weapon, pushing forward to deliver death. Like a piping hot pizza. Death pizza. God. Yes, level up again, please. Can you level up even more? Hell yeah, let's just make Rook a badass. Let's go for it, why not? We're already here. He's got more points to spend, so... we will go for artery strikes. Man, he's got so many promotions just like waiting to happen. Can you do anything else? You've got a Let's Bracelet, but is there anything more badass that we can now equip? So we've got +1 all talent ranks, +3 to armor, plus 20%. We've got talent ranks, 2 will on rest, 1 will per turn. I think that one's probably better. So what does the +1 to all talent ranks do? Are these talents, or are the things inside of here talents? Who knows? Either way, +3 to armor makes him pretty resilient. Makes him pretty resilient. And then we'll start using some of this other renown after this fight. Looky there, they brought bears this time. Oh, we've got an elite guard with us. Oh, and the king is with us. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm not usually a huge fan of randos in the middle of my column of violence. Starting to feel weak. Did Rugga poison me? Well, you've got big green bubbles around you, so what do you think? Is it ever a good thing when there's big green bubbles around you in a video game? I would argue that no, it's never a good thing when there's big green bubbles around you in a video game. That guy can throw axes. Let's fall back slightly. I'm gonna wait and see what comes out here. You do have war bears, which is a little bit terrifying. Not really, though. We'll probably still be fine. The only problem with war bears is their armor takes the damage before you can do anything else to them. I mean, technically, I could just chain stun the bears if I really need to. Huh. Apparently, bears can have shield wall. Alright, Dredge, move over to there. We're going to have you throwing javelins at everything that can bleed. Oh, we get to move the king, too. What does he do? King's will. All elite guards attack simultaneously on command. We only have one guy. He is 15-14, actually, which is pretty good for a king. I'm sorry, pretty good for a human unit anyways. So he's leveled. That's nice. Can't really fight down this corridor, though. I gotta wait for them to come out to here, where I will diminish their numbers and then use mine to my advantage. They do have a lot of axe throwers, which is the only part that I'm slightly worried about, but I think I can fix that by bringing Rook up over here and we can fire arrows at him the whole time. I mean, he's set up to get into range now. If I scoot back by one, it'll buy us some time, I think. I was going to say, they are going to be able to drag back the lines from right there, too. Well, one by one. Work that armor a little bit. Why did he hit his own guy? That's kind of interesting. Wasn't expecting that one. Stay where you are, because he's going to move up there on the next turn, more than likely. There's the axe throwing. Luckily, his strength is really not... Sorry about that. As usual, my idiot upstairs neighbor is doing something, and I have no idea. But it goes the thump, the thump, the thump for like hours on end. And so anyways, it's gone now, so you guys don't have to be annoyed by that any further in the background. But seriously, what is it with noisy neighbors? I swear to God. What I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and stun lock the bear if I can. That'd be absolutely fantastic. And then now that we drop back into there... Oh, he did something I did not expect. Not the worst play I've ever seen, but still not totally sure what that even is. Poison the bear, please. We have no choice but to start working the bear. Meanwhile, we've got to protect the king. So let's hold him back as well as possible. We don't want our line to be porous right now, because I get the feeling that if he dies, we're probably in a little bit of ye old doo-doo. Stone wall right there, please. King's going to have you attack on his turn anyways. So you should get a fun little double attack if you really apply yourself. Let's get rid of some of that bear armor. I want to see some bear flesh. Man, the bear puns are real in this episode. They just keep going. It's like, what are you going to do? Just keep making bear puns. Keep making bear puns. We can succeed on the internet. I know it. There we go. Now we're dealing some damage. And this is what I wanted to happen. I wanted them to get caught up. And now their weaker guys are doing nothing but facing down a berserker on this side, or a warhawk, which is not a good plan. You probably don't want to be in that predicament, all things considered. I'll probably move him over here just in case. Just to make absolutely sure they don't run the line or anything. Yeah, exactly. Problems like this. Actually, just hit the bear for default damage. It should die of the poison on its next turn. Can't be having this. Move the king over to here. Alright, that ability's kind of cool. I don't know. Seems aight. At the kill right there. Second bear is going to line up in here. Probably going to be an issue, but, you know, when have I ever been known for my sound decision-making skills? That bear's now dead. This bear can still have damage dealt to it, though. What was that? How did he hit for 13 damage with 2 throws? Yikes. That's troublesome. Who's up next? That guy? Shit, we gotta protect the king. We gotta protect the king bad. Alright, well, you move to there. Start working that armor, I guess. Meanwhile, Senor Warhawk, come over here. Start teaching life lessons. We can't really actually do much here. I'm gonna pull him to this side so that we can support the king in just a minute. For you. You don't have a lot of time left, so give that bear a poison lance to help out in the future. King style, you are falling apart slowly. I could definitely put you in combat, but I feel like it would be a poor choice. Eh? Probably better spin on him, in all honesty. Well, I might be able to do something with some of this. Do 12 damage right there to make this bear stop hurting me so much. Yeah, there it was. Rook, the man who one-shotted a bear, looked that thing right in its eyes and said, nah, back to the jungle with you, Baloo. Not today. Ha! That's hella funny. Oh, that's the best thing I've ever seen. And now they are going to fold like, I don't know, construction paper in a kindergarten class. That sounds good. Let's go with that. That was pretty much what they had left, so unless they make any really miraculous runs on the king, we should be alright. And I'm going to make sure that don't happen by pulling him back to here. We'll go King's Will one more time. I do wish this spell went faster. Like, hurry up. Keep working the armor, I guess. In the meantime, Rook, make his strength not so threatening. Thank you. I wasn't expecting to one-shot a bear today. That might be one of the better things I've done in this series. See, this is why men follow Rook. You don't just like turn down a man who one-shots a bear with an axe. Like who just walks up on a grizzly and is like, nah, and just hits it in the head with an axe. And then it just falls over dead. Like, wow. You are a leader of men, sir. King's fine. It only took us like 6 turns to disassemble these guys, so we should be alright. Pillage mode. It's the age of pills. We've all got addictions. The age of pills. It's gonna be so fun. Swinging so hard on this dude. She's tanking it all straight to the face and doesn't give a damn. And still has the gumption to come back with one more hit. Definitely not feeding you a kill because you don't need it. I'd rather feed the kill to somebody who can level up. Yeah, like Mogi or something. Oh, cool. Titan straps worked. Hell yeah. Your renown grows. Hakon is apparently injured in battle. Treachery has also been injured in battle. 200, or I'm sorry, 20 renown. 200 now. I'm like, man, this game got a lot easier, didn't it? Reinforced gates slam shut behind you while archers on the wall deliver death to those outside attempting to approach. Brave fighting out there, but you should. King Meinhof is panting and bracing himself on a knee while grabbing his side where he was stabbed. You should know there's no plan for weathering the storm. His hand gestures to a great many things before he gasps and falls to the ground. Menders arrive and take him away. The closed gates, the stench of death, all of it threatens to turn your stomach and make you sick. I'm glad we're alive through all of this, but I know. We fought so hard to get here, for what? Even if making it inside Arborang's walls feels hollow now. It wasn't supposed to be like this. We were going to save everybody. At least Hakon and the Varl are still with us. Oddleif's eyes look empty as you feel as she slowly glances around. What now? Now I'd like to find some place to fall asleep and wake up to discover this was all a bad dream. Oddleif nods for agreement, but we've got to prepare for Rugga's retaliation. He'll keep trying to get in. And then there's the darkness. Juno said we have to hold out until they finish what they set out to do. How are we supposed to know when they're done? She said to hold on until the darkness breaks. Are we going to stop that darkness ourselves? Or themselves? They're going to try, and we're going to try and stay alive until they do. Oddleif seems to take strength from their resolve. She takes a deep breath and her eyes focus on a man running towards you. Rook, the man yells, then gets close. You recognize him as one of your scouts. It's taller, he whispers. He's dead. Or they're dead. Every one of them. Hoof prints all over the place, too. His words hit you and you scan the crowd. Unlike all the other fighters who are now resting, Canary and her horsebarn are standing in armed ranks. They all seem out of place yet confident. You even think you see their leader smiling. Shit. I think we just got betrayed. It did not need to come to this. You killed her! Stop this, Avon. That's enough. Oh god, look at the time. Alright, I gotta stop playing right now. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here at the Nerdcastle for the next episode of Banner Saga 2. We made it to Arborang. That only took 2 games and like 50 hours of gameplay. I will see you all later. Bye, everybody.